platform independent and operating systems having developed using different languages. So before I go further, I will explain. So here, who is the service consumer? Is the service provider. Now assume that now we are discussing about the web services. How you came to know about that? Here web service classes are going on. Now here you comes the client. So we are here, QA testing comes as a service provider, right? Likewise, here the service consumer will be sending a request to a service provider, okay, and he will processes back the response back to the service consumer. How this communication is happening? Okay, service consumer sending a request to service provider, requesting for a service available with the service provider. So is this service provider will be having a some services which he has to offer to the service consumer. Here service consumer, assume that service consumer is a client and service provider is the server which is having some services in it. Okay, assume that in the service provider is having some functions like add, delete, sub functions. Some functions are there. So assume that it has some functions called addition, deletion, subtraction, division. These kind of services are available in the service provider server. And the client, who is a service consumer, asks for a addition. He is passing some request as an addition to the service provider as a service request. What the service provider at a server side does is it retrieves the request values and does the and look for the service requested, and it passes the values to the service requested operation, and it does all the computation, and it sends back the response to the client in the same format. So it sends back the response back to the service consumer. Here, how the service provider is service consumer is sending the request to the service provider, and how the service provider is sending the response back to the service consumer. That is a question over here. How they are connected each other? What is the media? Okay, here is the media is the net. It could be a LAN. Okay, it could be internet, HTTP protocol. It could be a cloud service. Okay, and he is sending back the response. That is the media. And what is the format? How they are sending the format? What is the format in which the service consumer is sending the request to the service provider? The format is the language which it can understand. So here we can say is a SOAP is a format, simple object access protocol, which is a message format used by the web service to send the request in a XML format from client to the server and from server to the client. Okay. Now here is some questions what we come across while understanding the web services. Where is the service consumer and the provider? Where is they are sitting? Where is the service consumer and where is the service provider? The service consumer and how they are connected each other. How they are interchanging the request and response. How this process is going on. So we will be coming across many questions. So to answer those questions, the service provider is on some one machine, okay, and service provider is another machine, and they are connected each other via LAN or a internet using a HTTP protocol. In the coming sessions, we will be learning more on these protocols, HTTP, SOAP, WSDL, and all. And how they are interchanging? They are interchanging or exchanging the messages via protocol. That's a SOAP. It's a message format. Okay. Now we are talking each other. Okay. When we are talking each other, what is the media over here? The media is the internet. So we are access. And what is the format? What is the communication way? Where it's a English grammar. So that we both can understand. Okay. That is the format, message format. Communication is the language which we are using is the format which we can understand each other. Likewise here, service consumer and the service provider are using the standard protocol, the SOAP message format to exchange their messages. Okay, and SOAP is one of the simple object access protocol message format used to send the request and read the response back from the server. And there are two types of web services are there: SOAP and REST based, RESTful web services, and SOAP based web services. SOAP is a simple object access protocol, a message format, and REST is a representation state transfer, is a set of guidelines of about how client should interact with the server. They are little different in a loop wise also. So we will go with one by one in detail as the class progresses. Okay. Now here service consumer and service provider are there. How they are connected? Okay. There are two ways of connecting each other. Okay. So they can connect each other in a two way. One is they can connect each other directly if they have a mutual understanding between them. Okay. Else they can, the service provider who got a web services in his system installed, he can publish his web service over the internet so that the public can access the service available in the server. Okay. To explain that, I'll come to the other picture over here. Here service consumer is there, here service provider is there. Here service provider has got some services to offer to the public. Okay. He, to offer that the services which he has got, no, he will be registering those into the UDDI registry. It is a centralized registry where he will be registering his services in the UDDI registry in a WSDL format. In a WSDL, that WSDL file will have a all the operations or services which the service provider is going to offer to the public. Okay. Now, what the service consumer does is, whenever he needs a service of a service provider, he directly goes to the service UDDI registry and he will access the WSDL file, okay, to access the services offered by the service provider. Okay. Then when he gets the WSDL file from the UDDI registry, he will have the access to the operations published by the service provider, and he can send the request in a SOAP format to the service provider, and the service provider sends back the response back to the service consumer in a SOAP format only. And this is the one way registering their services in the UDDI registry, or they can directly interact with each other if they have a mutual understanding between them. Okay, now you have come to me via QA testing training via Vanilla. So who is the contact person? I have registered myself as a trainer in QA testing trainer and Vanilla, and you people have requested for a service from me via QA testing training. So here the UDDI registry is nothing but a QA testing training. The service consumer or you people and service provider is it's me. Okay. So here what happens is, this entire thing forms the web services architecture. Client and service are architecture for web services. Okay. And what is this SOA? We'll see. We'll come to the SOA. 1 minute. The SOA is an architecture for building business applications using a loosely coupled services which act like a black boxes and can be organized to achieve functionality by linking together. So it's just not a, we can say it is a SOA as a framework or an architecture. Why it has been said as an architecture is, we are accessing different set of services which are available in the market or which are offered by the service provider to bring up a specific functionality. Okay. Now to understand it, there are so many banks are there in the world now. HDFC is there, ICICI is there, SBI is there. So whenever you go to any ATM center, you can withdraw money from one bank to another bank also. So you are a holder of a SBI bank, you can withdraw the money from HDFC or ICICI bank. So how they are integrating, how they are interacting with each other? So they published their web services and in that web services they offered some limited for functionalities or operations. What operations they can offer, they offered, and they have registered their WSDL in the UDDI, and any other bank can access, okay, their WSDL, and they can offer the service to the customer. So there it builds up the SOA, okay, to bring up the specific functionality after linking together. So what is the loosely coupled services is, see, now it is not only the clubbing the different banks also. In the same project only, the project which you are working may be having, okay, in the project, assume that you are working on a project. In that project, there are thousands of lines of code is there. In those thousands of lines of code, you will be having some functions or some services, different services, and you have to organize those services in a such a way that you have to bring a specific function. Now, you take any example that you see in, now you go to the eBay or any online shopping, okay, when you so look for some services, when you look for some purchase, okay, then you have to select the product, you have to give the number of quantities or a price amount, what is the, you will be sorting by the price, okay, you will be adding into the cart how many items you need, then we will be going to the payment gateway. When you go to the payment gateway, it will be integrated to the payment gateway system, which is a third party application. The third party application will be different technology, okay. Now, and that third party, what it does, it again it will connect to the bank application, okay. So here configuring all these things in one systematic format forms the SOA. What it does is it forms a SOA. It's a simple service oriented architecture, okay. Now till now, both of you, any doubts in understanding the web services? Okay. Now we'll move to the slides. So first we will see the what is WSDL. Okay. So what this WSDL does is, W is an XML based language for locating and describing the web services. Okay. Here in the in this picture, if you see, the web services is, this service provider has registered his web service in the UDDI registry, and how this service consumer can access is this web service which is registered in the registry, that is using a WSDL. What this WSDL does is it retrieves or it will provides all the operations given by the provider or published by the provider to the service consumer. Okay. So that is what we are saying, to identify, to look for, to locate where the web services is and what and all are there in that web services are. Okay, what are all the operations offered by the service provider? To locate that one only, we are using a WSDL. So never say that it's any language. It says that web services description language, but don't say it's any programming language. It's a XML based language to locate and identify where the web services is and what are the operations or the services offered by the web service. For that only we are using the WSDL file. Okay. WSDL stands for a web services description language. It's a purely XML based. Okay. It is used to describe the web services and to locate the W3. It is locate the web services. And WSDL is a W3C standard. So the WSDL file which is there in the UDDI registry has to be developed according to the rules set by the W3C, World Wide Consortium, World Wide Web Consortium. So they have set some certain rules while publishing the services by the service provider into the UDDI registry. So they have to follow the rules before they publish the WSDL to the public. Okay. And these are the elements of WSDL files. The types will be there: messages, port type, and binding. So the types are a container for a data type definition used by the web service. So we will be seeing all these in detail one by one as the class progresses. Okay. A type definition of the data being communicated. Okay. And a port type, a set of operations supported by one or more endpoints. Binding is a protocol and a data format specific for a particular port type. Okay. Okay. REST is also one of the format. Okay. RESTful web services. It doesn't look like a XML. It is totally different. That we will see in a coming classes. Okay. So you can download the SoapUI tool from here. So there are lot many uh, tools are there for a web services testing. Okay. But very popularly used tool is the SoapUI tool for a web services testing. The SoapUI tool offers a lot many features, testing the functionality, load. You can do the functional testing, you can do the functional testing, and you can do the regression testing. So from this below link, you can download the freeware version of the SoapUI. There are two versions are available in the Soap. Let me tell you. SoapUI Pro and SoapUI. Okay, SoapUI is freeware version. Okay, you download SoapUI. It's a freeware version, and don't download SoapUI Pro. It's a license version. Okay, there is a 14 days trial version is there. First, you download the SoapUI. Okay, they have restricted some features in the SoapUI. Okay, so and in the SoapUI Pro, they have given more flexibility how to work with the SoapUI features. There are additional features are there in the SoapUI Pro license version. Okay, first for till you are get comfortable and till the time I tell you, you download this only SoapUI trial application and install it. Okay, download it from this link and install it. Don't go for the pro version unless until I tell you. It's because it's of only 14 days trial version. Okay, during the class I'll tell you when to download and install the pro version so that you can practice. So for initial classes, it is more than enough to continue with the SoapUI trial freeware version. Okay, and well, and refer this link also if you are facing any problem in understanding. Okay, I have given you the SoapUI functional testing. Functional testing, it will start the start guide given in the website given by the tutorial SoapUI.org website. Okay, here whatever it is there, if you are failing to understand, you can follow here. Okay, but I will be clearing all the things in the classes. Just if you have failed to understand, if you have failed, okay, during that time we can refer this tutorial. Okay, about the tool only. Here you will get the information about only tool and its features, how it works. Okay, first you download the SoapUI, only this version. Don't go for the below ones. Only download this one, first link, and install it, and you'll start working on that. Okay, and you'll find the sample WSDL file. Okay, in xmethod.net. You can find a number of WSDL files here in this xmethods.net. Here are the sample web services which are already registered in UDDI. Okay, I can say UDDI, it may be registered, it may not be registered, but these are the dummy WSDL files available for our practice sessions. Okay. Okay. Do you have any questions now? Yeah, yes, Deepthi. Till the where I told and read all the things. And if you have any queries, you can mail me. Okay, or you can do it in the classes. You can ask me. Okay, you can mail me at borrow.qa@gmail.com. Okay. After the class, I will share you this document. Okay. How to down after installing. So after installing and launching the SoapUI, how does it look like? I'll show you. Okay. So while installing, it will ask for. Oh, it's a simple installation. It's an exe file. Just go ahead and install it. Just click on next buttons. It will get completely installed, and it will be launched automatically. When you launch the SoapUI, it's a Java-based application. Java should be JDK should have been there in a system. Okay. So it's a advertisement sheet by the thing SoapUI Pro. Okay, this tool looks like this SoapUI. It's a Pro version, freeware version. It, it looks that freeware version also looks like same only. Only thing is that in that freeware version you will not be having the some steps. What are those? Is you will not be having the data source, data loop, data sync. Okay, you will not be having these steps and some other features. Okay, that I will tell you during the classes. Okay, how here this works is here we need to create a new project by passing the WSDL or a WADL. So the WSDL is the URL which we will be getting from the developers. Okay, the developer who shares the WSDL for the testers, so that we can access the operations which are available in the web services. That means now as the service provider is there, he has launched, he has published his services, okay, to the public over the internet, and we are accessing that using the WSDL URL. Okay, or you can directly have the XML file, .xml file. That XML file will have an list of operations in the which are there in the offered by the service provider. Okay, that could be a URL or that could be a .xml file. Okay, here I am taking one sample WSDL file. Okay, so that also I will share you. So on which we will be practicing our SoapUI tool features. Okay, so sometimes developers will be sharing till this one dot ASMS ASMX only. So to access the features of that one, you need to place question mark followed by WSDL. Okay, so that URL you need to enter here. Okay, you can give the project name. then paste the URL over here. Okay, so when you click on it, what it is, it fetches the all the operations which are available there in the WSDL file, and the project will be created with the name, the temperature converter. And there are two types of interfaces are there for the temperature converter. Here you see temperature converter SOAP and temperature converter SOAP 1.2. So here is that what is the difference between these two? They are having the same similar operation, but this is working on the version SOAP version 1.2 protocol, and this is working on the SOAP version 1.2 1.1. Okay, it's a message format that I'll give the what is the exact difference. I'll tell you in the tomorrow's class. What is tomorrow we'll see what is SOAP. So what are the what is the format of the SOAP, what it contains. Okay, how what is the difference between SOAP 1.1 and SOAP 1.2. Okay, any doubts? Okay, here is the Pro version is there. Okay, here I have the Pro version actually. So when after downloading, so you'll be getting the an exe file. Okay, give me a second. Okay, just run it. So SoapUI Pro will be preparing to install. So you'll get this. Okay, just go with the next process. Accept the license agreement. So select all whatever it is required for us. So install JDBC drivers. So why this JDBC drivers is required for us? These JDBC drivers are required for us to connect to the database. Okay, to connect the database and to retrieve the values from the database, or to verify the values in the database. Okay, just next. Again, agreement, finish. So it will ask for the shortcuts for all the users if you have multiple users in your system. Okay, click it. So setup as directory. So it is already installed. That is why it is giving this error. Okay. So just download and double click on that. That it will get installed successfully. Okay. So if you face any problem, do let me know. I'll help you out in installing the SoapUI tool. Okay. First we install the SoapUI trial